Hi, my name is Amber, and this is my story. I went to Ithaca College to pursue my master's degree in occupational therapy, and I had to face the biggest exam of my life, the NBCOT. I felt that I had all the resources to pass this exam the first time, but God's plans are always better than mine. I started to study for this exam after my fieldwork in September, and I felt that I only needed 2 months to study for this exam and pass with the score of 450. I studied hard, I studied with my peers, I had a structured schedule on when I was going to study and when I was going to rest. Everything was to the T. In October, I took my exam and I left perplexed. I wasn't sure on whether I passed or not, but I had faith in God that He was going to get me through it, whether I believed it or not. I got my exam score 2 weeks later, and I found out that I failed the exam. I was so confused on why I failed. I talked to my peers that I studied with, they passed their exam, and they asked me what did I get, and I had to be honest. I told them I failed. They were so confused on why I failed. I was even more confused on why I failed. I even was questioning God on why did this happen to me. I have faith in you, and I prayed before every study session to open my mind and allow all the knowledge to come into me and to stay there for the exam. And whether I had any questions that may seem confusing or challenging, to help me make the best choice and the right answer for the exam. And I felt that God just forgot about me during that time. So I had to reflect on that first attempt and go back to the drawing board and try again for a second attempt. So that's what I did. I studied again. I made sure I didn't make the same mistakes I did before. And I decided to take my exam for the second time in December. December came and I felt that I was good to go. I definitely passed this exam. Got my score 3 days later, and I found out I failed again. At this point, I was just upset with God. I told Him that I wanted to end the year on a great note, and this is going to put the icing on the cake. Let me just end this year on a note that I can be proud of myself. And I felt that God just let me down. And I asked Him, why did you let me go through this again? I already failed the first time, now I'm failing again? And He told me that the reason why I'm going through this failure after failure cycle is because I'm going to meet someone that needs to hear my story, because they're going to experience the same thing that I am experiencing. I didn't like that answer, but I had to respect His answer and try again. So 2020 comes, it's the year of clear vision. Everything is going to go the way that I plan as long as I put God first. So that's what I believe. 2020 is my year. So I planned to take my exam in February, and I was ready to go. I got a tutor, I kept on studying, and I felt that I regained my confidence in order to pass this exam. This is my third attempt. I took my exam, I felt really good about it, just like how I felt the other 2 times, and I only had to wait 3 days. Got my score, and I failed again. I just was done. Honestly speaking, I was just done with it. I put so much time into this exam. I spent so much money, thousands of dollars for tutors and using study resources. I spent time with peers and continually studying with other people who are already passing this exam. And I'm still here in this failing pit. And I kept on asking God, why are you putting me through this? I am so upset. Why me? Why me? And God kept on giving me the same answer. There's a reason as to why you are here. And the reason is because you have to tell your story to someone who is going through what you are going through right now. So I kept praying to God and telling him, please just allow me to get this. I really want it, but also he said, stop putting your faith on this exam and put your faith in me. And I had to do that. I had to put my faith in God, that it didn't matter how many times I took this exam, that God's purpose in my life is going to be greater than this passing score for this exam. So I was about to go for my 4th attempt in April. So as I was preparing to take my exam for the 4th time, COVID happened. COVID canceled my exam and I was distraught. I was crying and just so perplexed on why is this happening to me? I was so done. I was telling God, maybe occupational therapy isn't for me. Maybe I should just become a personal trainer and just call it a day. But God kept encouraging me and telling me that there's a purpose as to why you are in this journey. And your purpose is to become an occupational therapist and to change people's lives for the better. But you have to keep on persevering because your story needs to be told to others who are going through what you're going through. So during the pandemic, I took a hiatus from studying and I started focusing on things that were more important in that time, such as spending time with family and friends, mostly family, but holding on to the Word of God, holding on to my faith, and focusing more on my fitness and nutrition. And throughout all of that delay, God was encouraging me and I was regaining my confidence that I needed to take this exam again. I got a new tutor and I felt like she was a godsend because she was God-fearing and she encouraged me in ways that I couldn't even imagine to have any tutor. She told me that God put me here for a purpose, and even though I failed time and time again, God is going to help me get through this. And I needed that. I needed somebody to come and tell me, a total stranger, to tell me that God has a purpose in my life. So September came. That was about 5 months of waiting. I took my exam. I felt so calm and relaxed because I knew that God had me throughout the whole exam. I got my score 3 days later and I passed with flying colors. And I knew it was God orchestrating everything for a certain purpose. A few weeks later, one of my friends who went to OT school at another school, she contacted me and told me that she took her exam and she didn't pass. And she didn't know what she was going to do. And from that moment on, I had a light bulb in my head, like, wow, this is why God put me through this. To encourage others that they can get through what I went through. And I was able to encourage her and to let her know that there's a purpose as to why she is going through what she's going through. And I told her my story. I told her that it took me 4 tries to get it right. That I was questioning God on why this happened to me, but he kept on encouraging me and telling me that there's going to be someone out there that's going to ask me for help, and I have to tell my story. So for those who are out there that are going through just time and time again a cycle of failure, and they're just questioning why God is putting them through this, I'm here to encourage you that there's a purpose as to why it's happening. And because your testimony is going to help and bless others as well. So I hope my story was a blessing and I hope it has encouraged you. My name is Amber and this was my story.